Good afternoon, Chair. Earlier last week, I asked you if I could interview you on what your number one item is in your bucket list. So a bucket list is a list of things a person wants to do in his or her lifetime. It can range from becoming a millionaire or being the first person on Mars to simpler things like maybe reaching the top of Mount Everest or becoming a pilot or even trying out a burger in a foreign country. So, Chair, what's on the top of your bucket list?
Okay, so as an ultimate frisbee enthusiast, um, it's my goal and it's my dream to be able to participate, or at least attend and watch one of the world's tournaments in ultimate frisbee.
Chair, aside from being a ultimate enthusiastic person, why else do you choose this role?
Well, because it's my passion. It's my passion to become a good ultimate frisbee player. So as someone who wants to improve his skill in ultimate frisbee, you want to witness how the best of the best ultimate frisbee players around the world play against each other. So I think that's a good venue for me to be able to witness how these best players challenge themselves.
When did Ultimate become your passion?
It started in 2005 when I was introduced to the sport. Since then, I started playing ultimate frisbee. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, in 2007, I started coaching it.
What about Ultimate that you really like?
Well, I started to like it because you get to play it with people, people you know, like your friends. So I started playing it with my friends, and then later on, I started playing it with my former students. So it's the community in ultimate frisbee that somehow, to a certain extent, attracted me not to continue playing the sport. Not to mention, of course, the sport itself. No, the skill of throwing and the satisfaction you get. No, every time you get to throw a disc. I don't know, gives me a certain kind of high. So which keeps me going, in this field of sport.
How is the community of Ultimate different from other sports community?
Well, here, I'm not saying that in other sports, you don't get to play with your friends, but here in Ultimate Frisbee, you can play competitively and at the same time play it with your friends. The culture is kind of different. There's no requirement, like, let's say, for example, in basketball you have to be tall for you to be able to play it well, or let's say you have to be I don't know. In other sports, there are certain physical requirements, but in Ultimate Frisbee, the community is very encouraging. For as long as you're interested in playing the sport, for as long as you have that drive not to learn the sport, then the community will welcome you and will teach you as to the ins and outs of playing Ultimate.
So, how close do you think you are to achieving this?
Okay. I'm not so sure about that. But, well, I think it's just a schedule that somehow hinders me from being able to do it. Because recently, they had it in Japan. Now, that's the closest that I could get. Well, because it's very near. It's expensive in Japan, but it's not going to be that expensive as opposed to, let's say, for example, holding it somewhere else, like for example in Canada or in Europe. So, I was thinking maybe it's kind of possible, but then that time I was so busy with work. So maybe in the future, maybe in 4 years, I don't know where it's going to be held. But maybe I should just have to find time to be able to go and watch. And then, I don't know, playing it I'm not so sure. No, I'm not that young anymore, so I don't think I can play competitively. No, but there's a division that's called Masters, so I don't know. Maybe that's one thing that I can probably consider. No, that's really for those who are kind of old and not so young.
What kind of masters? I mean, like in the Philippines, like what are the kind of teams? Like what's the age
Okay.
bracket?
There's the under 19, under 23, and then there's like for masters. I think that's for the old ones. I mean, not really old, but those who are not as athletic. But they're still. No. Let me rephrase that. It's not really for those who are not athletic because the people who play for masters are still athletic. But then in terms of the age requirement, they're kind of above the usual age of those who really play competitive ultimate frisbee.
Would you say that those who are older play better than those who are younger?
Well, you have to factor in experience. I think if you have the experience, then you can use that to your advantage. But I'm not saying that athleticism is something that you can dismiss. So maybe a good combination of athleticism and experience that would make you a better player.
So let's say you're able to, let's say, watch a game or even play in a game. How do you think this goal will affect your life?
Well, the experience that I'll be able to get from that tournament will hopefully help me become a better player. And if I become a better player, then I will be able to get to share it, with my teammates and at the same time with the players that I coach.
What kind of experience, I mean, like if you're gonna focus on learning something, what would it be? Like the throwing, the catching?
Actually, every time you play against the team, you get to learn something, you get to pick up something. So it's mainly the kind of play that they get to execute during a game, or maybe the drills that they do before a game, or the kind of attitude that they show while playing the sport. Because I'm sure you know that when you play Ultimate Frisbee, it's a self-regulated sport. So a good sense of sportsmanship is kind of required.
So, sure to close, do you have any words of encouragement for my fellow batchmates who are trying to reach their dream?
Okay, know their passion and pursue it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.